welcome to what I believe will be our last live stream of the year. Glad to see everybody showing up here during the holiday week. Angela, thank you for saying hello to my dog. So, like we do on most of these live streams, if y'all have questions, drop them in the chat and we'll try to get to them as we go. I'll be watching for them. And so I don't want to take up too much time because Nicole's got a great story. So we will get started. Nicole, why don't you just kind of tell us big picture who you are and what you do?
Sure. So I am Nicole Murphy, born and raised in Washington, D.C., and I am the founder and CEO of Barter Black, which is a community and platform for Black entrepreneurs to join to scale their business by using bartering strategies. So together we come together to build each other's businesses up.
So for folks who maybe haven't done barter before, I mean, it's the way business used to be done back in the day when everything wasn't cash. Give us an example of how that would work. Say I've got a small retail store. How would I work with you?
Yeah. So first, let's say bartering. Bartering is the exchange of goods and services, time, resources without the exchange of money. So you're exchanging your expertise per se. So depending on what the retail store is, maybe you need marketing services, maybe you need accounting, maybe you can offer those things in exchange, because we all know as entrepreneurs, the budget does not budget all the time. So when we can look at that budget and say, hey, I need this, or I need to cut costs here, that's when you go out and when you look for those people who can provide you with the services that you need. You create an offer for them and you say, hey, I can give you this in exchange for that. Can we work together?
Cool. So how did you come up with this idea?
Oh my goodness. I was just talking about this earlier today. So before Barter Black, I had a short-term property management company in the DC area where we cleaned and managed Airbnb properties. And then the pandemic hit. So we all know what happened to us in the pandemic. The hospitality industry was hit really, really hard. I had to shut my business down. Well, it shut down. And I saw the devastation in myself. I struggled. And then I thought, why aren't more Black entrepreneurs helping each other? We have so many skills, so many talents. If we came together as a group to build each other's businesses up, we can get a lot further than waiting on the things like traditional funding and loans and things of that nature. So Barter Black was birthed because of the pandemic. I don't think that I would have thought of the idea if I was not in that situation. And I think most ideas come from something like that.
So why Barter Black specifically, other than that you're a Black-owned business? Why did you choose that focus instead of just a general all businesses kind of focus?
Yeah, so I mean, I think we all know the statistics and the barriers that Black entrepreneurs face in this country today. So my goal is to try to dismantle those types of barriers that we have using each other, using our human capital. Less than 3% of Black entrepreneurs in the US are employer operated. So that means a lot of us are solopreneurs. That means a lot of our businesses, unfortunately, are going to die with us. So we're not creating sustainable businesses that we should be creating because we're not hiring. And I know Bishop talks about hiring all the time, but we need to start hiring. And I see that a lot of entrepreneurs are waiting until they get the money or waiting until their businesses are generating the revenue to hire, when we need to be focusing on a solution that we can hire now, use those people to help us build and scale our businesses so we can generate that revenue in our business.
Got it. So going back to the example of the retail store. So let's say I'm going to barter for marketing services. How do you work out that, like, I guess, exchange rate between the two businesses? You know, I don't know, say I'm a donut shop. How many donuts is a marketing campaign? Do you help them figure that out?
Yeah, so within the Barter Black community, we teach that there are 4 pillars to a successful barter. One, being your budget. You have to start with your budget. You want to know what you need to save on, what costs you need to cut. Then the next step is community. So we want to create the community that understands and appreciates the art of bartering, because we know not everyone does appreciate the art of bartering nowadays. Money, they say cash is king. And then the third is your offer. You want to make sure that you're creating offers that people will want in exchange. And then the last is your agreement. We want to make sure you're a business and we want you to operate as a business. So you should be creating bartering agreements. If you're in the bartering community, yes, we do guide you in creating your offer. What I say to, there's a donut shop person that you said. This person, like me, before Barter Black, I was in the Airbnb industry. So I tell people to think about what all their expertise is. It doesn't necessarily have to be, oh, I'm a donut shop operator right now. What were you doing before that you can help people in? So that kind of gives you an idea of where you can help people. And then depending on those marketing services, you have to know what your value of your services are. That helps you create those offers that mesh. It can be, you can create any type of offer depending on what is needed from each person. So the marketer may need experience on opening up a storefront. Who knows? Like, those are the types of things that you can barter for.
Got it. You know, I come out of the media business, and we found ourselves often bartering for a lot of stuff that maybe we didn't actually need. And that made it hard because isn't it the case that you've still got to treat that barter like revenue and expense in your books?
Yes, it is revenue. You do have to report it as revenue on your taxes, and you also can expense it depending on what it is. Because I've seen people barter for cleaning services or personal things. You can barter for anything. You have to think outside the box and you have to be creative.
What's maybe the most creative barter you've ever seen?
So the cleaning services was an exchange. There was a person who owned a cleaning business. She worked with a pitch coach. So she wanted to pitch her business to people. So she exchanged cleaning services for pitching. I've had a personal trainer barter for copywriting services for their website, because we're in the space of pandemic still. We're still virtual, almost everything now. So he was looking to get people virtually on his classes. I've had a skincare company barter with a web developer. And the web developer wrote an amazing review saying how the skincare treatment that she got from this person healed up her son's eczema. So it's just, it doesn't have to be business. We focus on business, but you can barter for anything.
Nice. TJ's asking, what services are you finding that are most frequently needed for Black-owned businesses?
Yeah, so I was in the University of Maryland's I-Corps program last year, and we did client discovery, and I found that our key services, so if you have these services, you are a gold mine and you can get whatever you want. Anyone in accounting, anyone graphic designer, legal, and marketing. Any of that, you can get whatever you you want for your business.
Got it. So obviously you've got to make money on this business. So what's the revenue model for Barter Black?
So it's a subscription-based business model. It's $47 per month. We do have a free plan. Of course, it doesn't get you everything in our subscription. But our subscription, you are able to post as many jobs as you want on our job board. People will see that on the job board and they will apply, so you can connect with them. We also do weekly power hour sessions. I'm finding that business owners sometimes just need to talk to someone. So we do it in a group setting where it's a soundboard, even if you want to vent for the day. The struggle is real in entrepreneurship, especially in solopreneurship. And then we also, I'm big on grants and pitch competitions. Right. So we supply a monthly grant list that includes pitch competitions, accelerators, and all of those things, because we want to help you scale your business in a way that you can hire. It's just not about bartering, but we do use bartering strategies to hire and to generate leads.
And do you find that most people are bartering with folks in their local community, or because of it, the digital platform, is it kind of back and forth all over the country?
It's everywhere. We have members all over the country. It's just not in one particular place. So we do say, you know, when you're posting your job list, if it's local or if it can be done virtually, remotely.
We got another question from TJ here, talking about the sense of community. How are you cultivating that sense of community on the platform?
Yeah, so we have 3 C's in our community, which is coaching, collaboration, and community. So we do that by, of course, what do you need for your business? If you think, I said this in my Facebook group the other day, I feel like I'm the Facebook group that allows you to just promote yourself. We don't know what you need unless you're promoting yourself. So I want to build that sense of community within the Barter Black platform. We provide visibility for the entrepreneurs. We want you to be seen. I want you to get your business out there, and I want you to start hiring in your business. And I want you to ask. A lot of times we don't like to ask for things, and this is the community that cultivates you being able to ask for what you need and what you want and what you need help with.
Right. And if you don't ask, you'll never know if somebody's willing to help.
Yeah, I never know. And when our users, our members post what they need, I'm looking for that person as well to help you out, to build that collaborative community. And we also do virtual speed networking events quarterly. So you can meet, and those have been going really, really well. So you can meet people to teach them, tell them about your business, and for you to learn about other people's businesses.
Nice. Melisha Boyd wants to know, she has a mental health and enrichment program. Is that something that you've seen people barter for before?
Yes. I mean, we're in a society right now where I feel like mental health is really, really important. And if she was willing to barter some of those services, maybe an hour of her time with someone, or if she needs whatever she decides that she needs in her business to help it grow, I think she would do really, really well.
All right. Good to know. Well, so moving a little bit from the business itself, because another thing we always talk about here is like your journey as an entrepreneur, right? You're offering a service that's good for entrepreneurs, but you're an entrepreneur. When you look back on when you first started this to now, what has the biggest surprise been?
Me doing this with you. I mean, when I started, I was a nervous wreck to actually do interviews like this. But I've found that Barter Black has positioned me in a space where I have to be on the forefront of my business. I have to talk about it. I have to, be there to educate people, because not everyone, they've heard of bartering, but they don't necessarily understand how it can help them scale their businesses. So my journey from that, I actually posted about this earlier today. I actually launched into entrepreneurship because I was fired from my job. And then I did many, many things trying to find my way. I ended up in the Airbnb industry, and then the pandemic canceled that. So I had to pivot, and now I'm in Barter Black. And I mean, the things that I've done so far, pitching the Bishop TD Jakes, which was nerve-wracking.
We're gonna get to that in a minute. We're definitely gonna talk about that.
Yes, I've enjoyed that. Just me being in the forefront of things has been a big challenge for me, but I am definitely embracing it, and I've learned to get comfortable with the uncomfortable.
I noticed you've got some good books there on your shelf. I see disruptive thinking and the lean startup.
So it's funny, when I was fixing my setup earlier today, I said, hey, wait a minute. I forgot I had it up there. I said, okay, yeah, I got to move over a little bit.
Well, your business is a great example of disruptive thinking. It is definitely not something that, it's not like you're doing another hamburger stand. I mean, this is a business that, I would think you don't have a lot of competitors.
No, I don't. There are bartering platforms, but none specifically for Black entrepreneurs. And I think that because of the racial funding gap, it's more important to focus on that, especially since I am a Black entrepreneur and I know how talented we are. We can do this.
Right.
Businesses are not meant to be built alone. If you look at these million and billion dollar corporations, they have huge organizational charts. And we should not be learning all the things in our businesses. We should be hiring the experts. And I think the best way to do that is to barter, especially if the funding is not there right now.
Right. So you mentioned the business plan competition. We've got a lot of new members since back then. So I'm going to give just a quick overview of what you went through. So we did a fast pitch competition at the launch event for Good Soil in Orlando back in May. We will be doing it again next year in Dallas. Nicole, we're going to hit you up and probably ask you to help us judge.
I would love that.
We had about 125 businesses submit business plans. We picked 6 who went on to the finals, and it was we're hoping to get the edited video back. It slipped through the cracks, but we filmed with multiple cameras, and you were pitching to Bishop, the head of the Stand Together Foundation, and the head of the Central Florida Black Chamber. So quite a gauntlet you went through there. Tell me a little bit about, putting together the business plan. Was it something you already had done and you just polished it off for us, or what, from when you found out about it to entry? Give us a little bit of that story.
Yeah. So, I actually was not even planning. I didn't even know about it. My dad had called and said, I need you to look at this website because I need you to go with me to Orlando. And I was like, okay. So I signed up, and then the pitch competition came about. So I was like, oh, I'm already going. Let me sign up. If like last year from now, I'm totally better in speaking. But I said, let me just sign up and see what happens. And it was something that I have been working on. I did have to polish it off a little bit because I've had to pitch before. So I did have to polish that off, sent that off. And when the announcement came, I think I was in bed and I was shocked.
Right.
That Barter Black was called. And I was like, okay, I have to get ready for this. And I don't know when the announcement came that we were actually pitching to Bishop. I don't know if that was included before, but that definitely was some pressure.
Right.
And I mean, the entire experience and you being there helping us throughout the entire process. And, I came in that morning, so it was very exhausting, but it was very exciting at the same time, and a lot of moving parts.
Yeah, well, it was, and true confessions, we pulled that together at the last minute. We didn't know we were going to be able to do the competition until, it was probably like 10 days out. I've done a lot of business plan competitions, and that was the fastest turn I've ever seen. So tell us about your pitch. I don't expect you to remember your pitch or reenact it for us, but what were the key points you felt like you got across to the judges?
So the problem is that we lack funding. There's not enough funding in our businesses. We use our credit cards. I don't know if anybody else messed up their credit, trying to scale their business. Hiring is another one, another issue. We're not hiring in our businesses. And three, there is not necessarily a community that's built on us actually collaborating with each other. There are communities that's teaching us how to scale our businesses and grow our businesses, but there aren't too many communities that are saying, hey, you all need to talk to each other and work together and hire each other. So those are the problems that I talked about. The solutions would be, of course, bartering in your business. It not only saves money, but it cuts costs. You can not only hire in your business through bartering, but you can also attract leads to generate those funds. With Barter Black, yes, we want you to barter, but when you barter and that relationship is a successful relationship, we want you to then turn around and hire that person. Because after you barter, we want you to look at the KPIs, basically. Did you save time? Did you save money? Did you generate money? We want you to look at all of those things because we want you to say, this person came into my business. They did what they were supposed to do. I need them now. Like, I can't let them go because they did something in my business that I'm not able to do. I'm not an expert in. So let's do that. Also, I wanted to focus on, again, how there's so many Black entrepreneurs who are working as solopreneurs, and businesses are not supposed to be built alone. But too many of us are doing it alone because we feel like we don't have the money to actually hire someone. Hiring is not easy. It's definitely something, and it's a process. And I see that a lot of entrepreneurs, they get blinded by the social media things. Oh, I can do this. And it was like, oh, you're loving everything they're posting on social media, so let me hire them. And then it didn't work out because you're not going through the proper channels to actually hire. If you want to be a business and a sustainable business, then you need to act as one and think about how you're hired in corporations and hire that way. So those are the things I try to focus on in the interview. I mean, in the pitch to the judges. Yeah.
Do you remember if any of them asked you any questions that threw you for a loop, or was it all pretty straightforward?
I think it was all pretty straightforward. They did ask how much businesses have saved on the platform. And that was, we've saved entrepreneurs over $100,000 so far through our bartering platform. Another thing is vetting, which we tried vetting. Someone, I forget who asked that, but I
bet it was Chairman Jakes. He's big on that.
Yeah, I think it was. We have not created a process to vet because it is a community of entrepreneurs. There may be some higher level of bartering where we do vet, but as a member of the Barter Black platform, there is, I guess, contingencies in case things don't work out. We do offer mediation. I have to knock on wood every time I say that because we have not had a problem yet. But I find people who don't go through our 4 pillars of a successful barter, or who, if they are bartering with someone who is not in the community and hasn't learned the processes of successfully bartering, then it does not go well. But there are many that have gone well if you know how to do it correctly.
Cool. For people who want to enter next year's business plan competition, what advice would you have for them?
1, do it. 2, have your things in order. I forget everything that needed to be on the business sheet, but definitely have your things in order. Practice your pitch. I can say one of the things that threw me off in the in-person pitch, and I tell everyone this, I was like, oh my gosh. So I started Barter Black in the pandemic. So all my pitches have been virtual like this. Or if they have been in person, I've been standing in front of a screen with slides. I've never pitched on a couch across from people. So that was a new way to pitch. So I would say practice different ways of pitching. That part definitely threw me off for a loop. The panel of judges were absolutely amazing. So that kind of throws you off in the beginning. But definitely enter, practice your pitch, and be prepared.
All right, great. What has happened in your business since we saw you back in May? What's the rest of this year been like?
Oh, wow. I think so. Being in the, I would say, tech space, I'm not from the tech space. So I'm entering into this space, and we launched last year, and I feel like all the things of me talking, working have finally are starting to pay off. I can see that people understand the art of bartering. I can see people asking questions. So I would say that the business is definitely moving up since the pitch competition, with people joining the platform, people asking questions, people being involved, and people understanding how important it is for us to hire in our business. I've also been asked to be a speaker at several places. I went to Kansas City to speak to some students. It's just been absolutely amazing, on a journey that I did not think that I was going to be on, but I'm on it, and I'm going to, ride it out.
Great. Had another question going back to the business itself. How long do the bartering relationships generally last between the folks in the community?
So I tell people to use Barter Black. This is your team. These are the people that you're going to hire. So as long as your business is open, there should be an arrangement. It doesn't necessarily have to be a bartering arrangement. Like I said before, I want you to barter. Bartering is a great way to try out someone's services before you fully invest in them. Especially, like I said, budgeting is the number one pillar. You want to know exactly where you need to save, what you need to save, or what you need in your business. So after that arrangement, whatever that arrangement was, it could be a month, it could be 3 months. You decide that. And we also do provide a bartering agreement as well. But after that arrangement, you decide whether you're bartering again or whether you're hiring that person. But the good thing is that is a relationship that is going to stay. I've had some amazing things come out of bartering, and it just keeps on coming. So it doesn't go away.
What's the best thing you've seen come out of bartering?
Well, for me, so it's the interviews for me that I absolutely love. So last year when we launched, I actually had a company here in the DC area come and do interpreter services. What I found out when I met this person is that we are not tapping into that market of people who need interpreter services, because these people have businesses as well. So it was a great conversation. So although I did not have anyone who needed those services at my event, I had them there. Everyone absolutely was like, Nicole, how did you come up? Like, I want everyone to be included in our community. But after that, I did not know the owner of the company actually had a brother who worked for Rap Snacks. And she reached out to me and she's like, oh, they're doing this Monday thing for businesses. Would you like to be interviewed on their Instagram? Absolutely. Absolutely. So there are several things that can come out of the relationships from bartering. And I want to note too that there are several things, if you're not applying for pitch competitions and grants, there's several things that come out of that. I was not one of the top 3, but I was a finalist. Something like this is absolutely amazing. I've had many things come out of just applying. So if you're afraid to get started or you have not got started with applying for that free money, definitely do it, because you never know what's going to come out of that situation.
Yeah. And the not just our competition, but a lot of these, the promotion you get out of it is a big piece.
Yeah.
Vanessa wants to know how you handle confidentiality in the barter community, or do they just work that out between themselves? Do they have NDAs?
Yeah. So that's all on you. So we're the connector. You post a job, when someone applies and says, I can do this for you, that's when you get offline and you connect. I do suggest, highly always suggest bartering agreements. If you feel that you need an NDA, definitely do an NDA. That's completely on you and within your business. How do you work in your business when you're hiring contractors or employees?
Yeah.
So
I'd say on that, people a lot of times get bogged down in a lot of agreements. And what I found when you're working as a contractor is you can generally work the NDA into the main agreement.
Yes.
And just keep it simple and have a line that says, I'm not going to share your stuff in other places. Mm-hmm. You got some new fans. I think you're going to have some new members later in the chat.
Come on over. We have our weekly meetings every Tuesday. So I love getting to know the entrepreneurs in the community, what their businesses are doing, and how I can help.
Anything else you want to tell us here before somebody wants to know what the cost is of being in the community if you're going to do the membership.
$47 per month.
There you go. $47 a month. All right. Any parting wisdom you have for us as we are moving into the new year and thinking about how we're going to grow our businesses? I know we're thinking about that at Good Soil. What about you?
So I want people, entrepreneurs, anyone, if you have started a business or if you're thinking about starting a business, think about doing it with someone. Like I've said before, businesses are not supposed to be built alone. So if there's a teammate, a cheerleader, someone who you can do this business with, do that. But also focus on not trying to learn all the things in your business. Too many times we're signing up for these coaching programs that are teaching us about accounting or branding or marketing. And those are not the things that you're probably an expert in. And those are not the things that you probably want to focus on. So focus on your expertise and hire for everything else that you need. And I know people say, Nicole, but I need the money to hire. That's where Barter Black comes in.
Amen. Amen. Ann wants to know where you got the shirt.
Oh, you can get that on our site as well, barterblack.io.
Awesome.
Yeah. We have
Is she a plant? Is she one of your people?
Yes. So we have a line of shirts that focus on telling your entrepreneurship story. So we say, wear your story. So we want to, encourage people as you're walking around or out and about. I have one that says, ask me about my business. So we want to focus on those types of things and conversation starters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And TJ got a link for us. Vanessa wants to know what part of building this business has stretched you the most.
Oh, the part is starting it or growing it, because when I thought of the idea, I immediately thought that this was going to be something that people just grabbed onto, right? I'm like, okay, this just makes sense. But it wasn't that. And it has stretched me into knowing, is this really something that I'm all in on? Or is it something that, I just wanted to see? And I feel like a lot of times we quit too soon in our businesses. But that has definitely stretched me in a space where I didn't even realize that I would be stretched. It's okay. And this is Jackson Lee.
Hey, Jackson. All right. Well, Nicole, thank you so much for doing this. We've been meaning to do it for a while. I can tell that the harvesters are excited. So hopefully you'll be seeing more of them soon. But we really appreciate you coming on today, especially close to the holiday, and sharing all this with the community.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much again. From the time this all started to now, you have been such a help with all of us that were the finalists. So we appreciate you so much.
Oh, thanks.
And I can't wait to see you next year.
Yeah, you'll see me. All right, this is great. Merry Christmas, everybody, and we will see you early in the year.
Thank you so much.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.